It's already done. Now, apologize.
Hey y'all, this Nunu. I apologize for going live on Rika. I ain't had no business doing all that. My page been blocked, so that's why I'm going live. Yes, I know I was wrong. I ain't have no business going off like that, but...
See right there. See right there. Everybody want to be famous. I'm going to make you famous.
Yes.
What?
I am sorry, y'all. This Nunu, I'm blocked off my page. So I had to go out live on Monster Phone. I ain't had no intentions of going live like that. I apologize to everybody. Yes.
What?
No, Yes, that's her. Let me see the phone, son.
No.
Yes. Yes, Aunt Lola. Yes. Yeah, Rika. Yeah, she on the phone. Yeah.
You think I'm worried about the police right now? Huh? You think I'm worried about the police right now?
No.
I tell you, I don't give a about no police, you heard?
Mm-hmm.
This wood pull up right now. Pull up.
Okay.
Pull up. Pull up.
Uh-huh. No, it was just, I apologize.
What's up?
Because I couldn't go live on my phone. My page is blocked.
This want to be famous, I'm going to make you fucking famous.
No.
You want to be famous, I'm going to make you famous.
No.
No. Everybody want to be famous, let's be famous today.
Okay.
Huh? I do.
Yes.
I'm telling you I get on these bitches never.
No.
In what seemed like a peaceful morning in a quiet neighborhood of Shreveport, Louisiana, a sudden gunshot ripped through the still air. But this wasn't just another homicide. It unfolded in front of dozens of witnesses, broadcast live on Facebook. The victim was forced to apologize with the barrel of a gun pressed against her head. And then, still streaming live, she was executed. The victim was Renita Nunu Williams, 27 years old, a single mother of 3, a talented and determined interior designer. She lived for her children, building her career from nothing, and always radiated positive energy on social media. But on the morning of the 12th of April, 2018, everything was stolen from her by one man. Jonathan Robinson, 37 years old, her ex-boyfriend, a man with over 20 years of violent criminal history. This became one of the first murders in the US, ever broadcast live on social media, shocking the public and leaving behind painful questions about domestic violence, the escalation of online conflicts, and the warning signs that had been ignored. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so we can keep uncovering these chilling, tragic cases together. And drop a comment to let me know where in the world are you watching from. If you've ever scrolled through Facebook and stumbled upon a brown-skinned woman with a radiant smile and eyes full of positive energy, there's a good chance you've seen Renita Nunu Williams. She was the kind of woman who made others believe that no matter how hard life gets, you can still stand back up, keep moving forward, and even shine. Born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, a small city always shadowed by underlying instability, Renita knew early on what it meant to struggle for a living. By 27, she was a devoted mother of 3. Jada, her sharp and spirited 3-year-old daughter, King, her playful and mischievous 6-year-old son, and Demaya, her 4-year-old baby girl who clung to her mother like a shadow. For Renita, her children were not just her joy, they were her reason to live. She balanced caring for her family with running her interior design business. Clients loved her not only for her ability to transform ordinary houses into warm, inviting spaces, but also for her dedication, attention to detail, and the way she inspired those around her. On social media, her Facebook page was a vibrant collection of before and after project photos, paired with motivational quotes that reflected her optimistic spirit and unshakable will. But behind the glow of a self-made woman was another story, one that even Ranita likely never imagined would end in tragedy. In 2015, her life took a sharp turn when she met Jonathan Robinson. He was 10 years older, living in Houston, Texas, and in Ranita's eyes at the time, Jonathan embodied the image of a seasoned, strong man, someone ready to protect her and her children. But behind the glow of a self-made woman was another story, one that even Ranita likely never imagined would end in tragedy. In 2015, her life took a sharp turn when she met Jonathan Robinson. He was 10 years older, living in Houston, Texas, and in Ranita's eyes at the time, Jonathan embodied the image of a seasoned, strong man, someone ready to protect her and her children. Worse still, Robinson maintained a long-term relationship with Sherikika Taylor. Instead of ending one relationship to commit fully to the other, he chose to keep both. With the toxic finesse of a manipulator, Robinson pitted Ranita and Sherikika against each other, turning them into rivals in a twisted game where he always held the upper hand. For Ranita, this might have seemed, at first, like just another challenge in love, something she believed she could overcome with patience. But in reality, it was the moment she unknowingly stepped into the crosshairs of a man whose need for control and ingrained violence ran deep. And from that moment on, the clock had already begun its silent countdown to the day of reckoning.
Women are the winners.
I ain't gonna say all men and women. I'm gonna say me and my niggas winning though. The niggas out
Okay, well 10 dudes winning. Okay.
like a motherfucker.
Oh, let them tell it.
Yeah, we winning.
Yeah, let y'all tell
We
it.
don't know how to lose. We don't even take losses good. At nothing. I mean at nothing.
But anyway, y'all know what he for, women. We already know what he for.
What?
Okay. No, what?
Exactly.
To be on stage.
Nothing.
To be on top.
Exactly, nothing.
To be on top.
Fuck with a nigga out of 10 too. You done. Game fucking over.
At first glance, Ranita and Jonathan Robinson's relationship still held the appearance of calm. But those closest to her began to notice the small details, the faint cracks that only the observant could see. Robinson didn't just want to know where Ranita was or what she was doing. He wanted to control her every breath. If her phone rang and she didn't answer immediately, a flurry of messages would follow rapid-fire questions, probing deeper, laced with accusations disguised as concern. Evenings that should have been Ranita's time to unwind after a long day instead turned into drawn-out arguments, almost always rooted in Robinson's distrust. Sometimes, something as trivial as an offhand comment from another man on her Facebook post was enough to ignite his anger, sparking hours of accusations and interrogation. And as if to secure his claim, Robinson made it clear to friends and family that Ranita was his. But for Sherikika Taylor, the woman who had been with Robinson for years, the narrative was entirely different. She saw Ranita not as another chapter in Robinson's life, but as an intruder, a threat that needed to be removed. Instead of trying to resolve the tension between the two women, Robinson poured fuel on the fire. He would tell Sherikika stories about Ranita, adding just enough detail to spark jealousy, then turn around and tell Ranita that Sherikika was speaking badly about her. His goal was simple: keep them both locked in a cycle of rivalry, ensuring he remained in the position of power. On social media, the silent war started to spill into the open. Sarcastic status updates and cryptic lines, ones anyone who knew Ranita could tell were aimed at Sherikika, began appearing more often. And from the other side, Sherikika had no problem firing back with pointed remarks of her own, drawing the attention of mutual friends and the wider online community. At first glance, Ranita and Jonathan Robinson's relationship still held the appearance of calm. But those closest to her began to notice the small details, the faint cracks that only the observant could see. The silent war between Ranita and Sherikika, fueled by Robinson's manipulations, quickly crossed the line from veiled jabs to a series of open, public blows on social media, all in plain view for anyone to watch. Every post became a battlefield, every comment a spark for the next round, as the conflict shifted from whispers in private to a spectacle played out before an online audience. Sherikika fired the first shot with a status that left little to the imagination. "Don't try to ruin someone else's happiness. One day you'll regret it." She didn't mention a name, but nobody had to guess who it was about. Ranita wasn't the type to take a hit and stay quiet. She came back swinging almost immediately. "Don't play with me. I promise. You won't like the way I play back. It was no longer just simmering tension, it was a public challenge, and the whole online world was watching. Both women turned Facebook into a battlefield. Every post, every comment, every photo was like a blade aimed straight at the other. Followers began choosing sides, and what started as a personal feud became public entertainment, where anyone could weigh in. For Robinson, this was exactly what he wanted. He didn't try to put out the fire, he kept feeding it. Now and then, he'd send Renita screenshots of Sherikika's posts with sly prods. See that? She's disrespecting you. Then he'd go to Sherikika and whisper, Renita's still hung up on me. She's not letting go. These seemingly small, poisonous remarks mixed with wounded pride were enough to turn the two women into open rivals, determined to drag each other down in front of an audience. In early 2018, Renita made a decision she believed would put an end to everything, going live on Facebook to set the record straight. She wanted, once and for all, to expose what Sherikika had done and to make it clear that she no longer had any connection to Robinson. Renita had no idea that, hundreds of miles away, Robinson was sitting in Houston, eyes locked on the screen. Every word she spoke, every furrowed brow, every mocking laugh, cut into his already warped pride like a blade. To an ordinary person, it might have been nothing more than an online spat. But to Robinson, a man who had built his life on violence and control it, was a public humiliation, and he would not let it stand. From that moment, a plan began to take shape in his mind, one that would not stop at mere threats. On the morning of the 12th of April, 2018, Houston was still draped in a light mist. But inside his aunt's small house, Jonathan Robinson was already awake with one singular intention in mind: to kill Renita Williams. It wasn't a burst of rage. It wasn't a loss of control. It was a cold, calculated decision, forged in the hours after he watched her live stream the night before, a decision he had cradled like a weapon in the dark. He opened the cabinet and pulled out a semi-automatic handgun. That single motion alone was enough to signal that blood would be spilled. But Robinson didn't stop there. He drove to a local gun store, moving with the calm of a man who had already made peace with his decision. There, he purchased 40 rounds of ammunition, 40 bullets, for one woman, and, if necessary, for anyone who dared stand in his way. Placing the gun on the passenger seat, Robinson started the engine. Ahead of him lay 400 miles of highway from Houston to Shreveport. 6 hours of driving time that, for most people, might cool their anger, give them space to reconsider. But for Robinson, it was the opposite. 6 hours to feed the hatred. 6 hours to rehearse every detail of the punishment he was about to carry out. And with each passing mile, the plan in his mind became sharper and deadlier. By late morning, he turned onto 1301 Natalie Street, Renita's mother's house. Without so much as a knock, Robinson kicked the door open. Inside, Renita's mother, Anita, froze in shock as he stormed in with a gun in his hand. At that same moment, Renita and her brother were forced backward, deeper into the house, trapped in the small space where danger had just burst through the front door. Robinson leveled the gun at Renita, his voice cold as ice. "You're going to apologize, and the whole world is going to hear it." He was go. The air inside the house turned thick, suffocating. Each of his steps pressed everyone further into a corner. Seizing a brief moment when Robinson's attention faltered, Anita made her move. She bolted for the door, heart pounding, legs trembling, and sprinted to the neighbor's house. Her hands shook violently as she dialed 911, her voice breaking into a scream. "He's got my daughter in the house. He's got a gun. Please, hurry." Inside, Robinson forced Renita to sit down in front of a phone and open Facebook. Her own account was temporarily locked, so he made her use her brother's. The camera went live. The red recording light blinked. The live stream began. Renita stared into the lens, her eyes a mix of fear and hopelessness. Her voice trembled as she spoke.
Hey, y'all. This Nunu. I apologize for going live on Rika. I ain't had no business doing all that. My page been blocked, so that's why I'm going live. Yes, I know I was wrong. I ain't have no business going off like that, but
See right there. See right there. Everybody want to be famous. I'm gonna make you famous.
yes.
What?
I am sorry, y'all. This new, I'm blocked off my page. So I had to go out live on Monster Phone. I ain't had no intentions of going live like that. I apologize to everybody. Yes.
What?
No, Yes, that's her. Let me see the phone, son.
No.
Yes. Yes, Aunt Lola. Yes. Yeah, Rika. Yeah, she on the phone. Yeah.
You think I'm worried about the police right now? Huh? You think I'm worried about the police right now?
No.
I tell you, bitch, I don't give a about no police, you heard?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, we'll pull up right now. Pull up.
Okay.
Pull up. Pull up.
No, it was just I apologize.
What's up?
Because I couldn't go live on my phone. My page is blocked.
Bitch want to be famous, I'm gonna make you fucking famous.
No.
Want to be famous, I'm gonna make you famous.
No.
No. Everybody want to be famous, let's be famous today.
Okay.
Huh? I do.
Yes.
Telling you I get on these bitches never.
No.
Behind her, Robinson stood close, the black barrel of his gun pressed against her head. He enunciated each word, making sure every viewer could hear. "Wanna be famous? I'll make you famous." Out there, dozens were watching live. Comments started flooding in. Some thought it was a sick joke, others begged him to stop, and a few frantically called the police. But no one could do anything. Suddenly, a gunshot exploded. The screen shook violently. Renita collapsed, her final cry slicing through the hearts of those watching. "Stop, Jonathan." Robinson leaned toward the camera, his eyes devoid of emotion, and uttered a chilling phrase. "Game over." The phone fell to the floor. The last image was of the ceiling and shadows, as the sounds of footsteps and a gun being racked. The gunshot still hung in the air, the acrid smell of gunpowder clinging to the room, yet Robinson didn't run. He stood there, in the suffocating silence of a house now soaked in death, then slowly stepped toward the window. Spotting the shadows of approaching officers, he opened fire without hesitation. Bullets tore through the walls, ricocheting off vehicles outside, forcing the tactical team to dive for cover. The police radio crackled in urgent bursts. "Shots fired, shots fired. Hold your positions. Everyone hold your positions." Within minutes, the entire neighborhood along Natalie Street was locked down. Armored trucks and patrol cars sealed off every exit, while frantic officers evacuated nearby residents. What had started as a murder had now escalated into a full-blown armed standoff. Inside, Robinson prowled the house like a cornered predator. He still had plenty of ammunition, and his goal was no longer just to kill Renita. Later, he would admit he wanted suicide by cop to die in a hail of police bullets, dragging anyone he could down with him. For 80 tense minutes, negotiators tried to break through his wall of rage. A voice boomed from a loudspeaker, steady but urgent. "Jonathan, put the weapon down and walk outside. No one else has to die today." But his only answer was another burst of gunfire from inside the house. In a final psychological gamble, negotiators decided to target the one emotional thread they believed might still reach him. They called Sherekika Taylor, the other woman in the deadly love triangle. Despite knowing her long-standing rivalry with Renita had been one of the sparks that fueled this tragedy, Sherekika agreed to come to the scene. She arrived under the watch of armed officers, the air around her thick with tension, unsure if her voice could pierce the barricade of rage Robinson had built inside himself. As her voice came through the loudspeaker, "Jonathan, please, stop. It's over." No one could be certain what pierced through Robinson's rage at that moment. Perhaps it was the familiarity of her tone, or the grim satisfaction of feeling he had already made his point. Whatever the reason, the change was sudden. Robinson stepped toward the doorway, raising his hands high, leaving the gun behind. Within seconds, officers swarmed, forcing him to the ground and snapping handcuffs over his wrists. The 80-minute siege was over, but in its place began a new chapter, the fight for justice for Renita "Nunu" Williams. At the police station, Robinson sat across from the investigator's, hands cuffed, voice disturbingly calm. He didn't deny it. He didn't try to spin excuses. From his very first sentence, he laid it bare. I decided to kill her the moment I woke up that morning. Then, in chilling detail, he retraced every step, retrieving the gun from his aunt's house, purchasing 40 rounds, driving 400 miles, kicking down the door, forcing Renita to live stream her apology, and finally pulling the trigger. His tone carried no hesitation, no remorse. When an investigator asked, "Why Facebook Live?" Robinson looked directly at them and replied without blinking, "She wanted to be famous. I'll make her famous." He also admitted that his original plan was suicide by cop, to provoke a shootout with police so they would kill him on the spot. But the arrival of Sherikika Taylor changed that. Her voice, whether out of familiarity or a sense of closure, convinced him to surrender instead of prolonging the violence. Under Louisiana law, a first-degree murder conviction meant Robinson faced the death penalty. Yet something no one expected happened. Renita's mother, Anita Williams, stood in court and asked to spare the life of the man who murdered her daughter. "Killing him won't bring my child back. I don't believe in taking a life for a life. Not his, not anyone's." Her words brought the courtroom to a stunned silence. Out of respect for the family's wishes, prosecutors agreed to remove the death penalty from consideration on one condition. Robinson had to plead guilty. In July 2019, Robinson stood before the court, head bowed, and offered an apology. "I know I've hurt a lot of people. I hope that one day you can all forgive me." Anita Williams looked him straight in the eyes and replied, "I've already forgiven you." That answer didn't erase the crime, but it showed the extraordinary strength of a mother, the strength to choose forgiveness over feeding hatred. Robinson was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 100 years for firing at police officers. He will die behind bars, his name forever tied to one of the most shocking murders of the social media era.
The decision has been made between us and everybody else, so we feel a lot better. It hurts me. It hurts me so bad. By killing Jonathan, it's not going to bring Renita back. None whatsoever. So, decision has been made, and that's what...
The death of Renita, Nunu, Williams didn't just end a promising life, it tore a family apart. Her 3 children, Jada, King, and Demaya, now grow up with the memory of a smiling, gentle mother, but an absence that lingers at every meal, every birthday, every milestone she should have been there to witness. Her mother, Anita Williams, carries the crushing weight of losing a daughter while becoming the sole anchor for her 3 grandchildren. Her decision to forgive Robinson wasn't born out of forgetting the crime, but out of the understanding that hatred wouldn't bring Renita back. Yet, for many, that act of mercy felt like a blade twisting deeper, a stark reminder of a painful truth. No form of justice can ever give back a stolen life. For the Shreveport community, this case was a shockwave. It proved that domestic violence doesn't always stay hidden behind closed doors. It can escalate and explode in full view of hundreds of people on social media. In just minutes, an online feud turned into a bloody scene in real life. What began as a digital exchange of insults ended with gunfire, a life lost, and a community forced to confront the dangerous reality of how quickly virtual conflict can spill into the physical world. It is also a warning. Control is not love. Floods of messages, jealousy, tracking every move, these are not signs of care, but seeds of violence. Social media is not a shield. Don't use it to provoke or trade insults with someone who has abused you before. Every word, every image can be fuel for their rage. Breaking up is never an excuse for murder. Walking away from a toxic relationship is a right, and it must be respected, without exception. If there's one thing this story leaves behind, it's this. Recognize the signs of abuse, and don't wait until it's too late. When you see controlling behavior, threats, or any form of violence, find a safe way to leave and seek help from family, friends, or support organizations. Ranita Nunu Williams should have lived to watch her children grow up, to keep turning empty houses into warm homes. Instead, she became a victim, a hashtag, and a bitter reminder that sometimes social media doesn't just connect us, it can become the stage for tragedy. And if this story reaches you, share it. Because maybe, just maybe, a single video, a warning, could save someone from becoming the next Ranita.